Okay, I'll pan across what I can see from the street of Wat Kampheng, and hopefully we can get inside and see some of it. And notice the motifs here, the naga. And these little fellas holding up the naga. And this one is just a two-headed naga. I don't think this is a religious building. I've seen some of these characters before. One of these we saw at the back of a temple complex in Mae Salon, Thailand, but this gives us an idea of how it might have been used. Each of these probably has some significance. There are the egrets, which are common along the rivers. Here are kids on a deer. And some more animals here. We've seen the green-faced man before, but clearly they're making offerings to this, I think a woman, but I'm not sure. And I assume this is a page holding on to a horse in a very compromising manner that should get him airborne fairly quickly when this horse's front hooves hit the ground. This, of course, is iconic, I'm sure, to those of this culture. Here, what I call a forest of chedais in front of this small temple building. And these are fun to look at for their design elements. There are the nagas with the tails entwined around perhaps what might have been a tree or a simple post. And some kind of bud there. Not sure if that's the lotus or not. Older ones on this side using the lion motif. Whether that's a reckler behind that glass, I don't know. Or whether it's a Buddha ensconced. Here are more traditional chedais, and apparently much older, and perhaps without anyone caring that much about these because they're not cared for in any way at all. The buildings are certainly opulently beautiful. These are probably administration buildings or residences of monks that we're walking past now, but they're pretty in their way. Other than the gable, these are rather simple. Here they have, like this other temple we were at earlier this morning, those figures, those flying figures at the top of the columns. Again, iconic figures up there that we would understand if we knew this culture. And the protective nagas. And in all these complexes in which we've seen columns and cloisters or arcades, whatever you want to call them, this might give us a clue of what they actually look like. So a lot of new construction inside this complex. Whether it's tourist-based or whether it's temple and monk-based, I don't know. And this form of construction seen here and in South America, very, very simple. Build a foundation, then put up these vertical pillars with rebar in the form you see, then cross pillars, and fill it all in. Here a small little temple, reasonably well maintained. Some interesting iconography. Notice the entwined tails of this naga, reaching up to what I think is the lotus blossom bud. Here looks to be a similar one. But not painted yet. And here an older one. Notice the bulb on top. I don't think it's a light. It could be, but I don't think it is. think it's a symbol of some sort. Notice the glass broken. I don't think that's vandalism, might well be the shifting of the structure itself. Why this one's not painted and the one before is not painted, but the first one we saw is, I don't know. Notice here that the Naga's tails are entwined on the back of this beast, holding its tail down and the beast to the corner. Wonder what the significance of that symbology is. As I telephoto down this wall, you can see that it's not totally in vertical alignment, one post to the other. So I'm sure they've got some way of adjusting that. Again, the least expensive way to mix cement. Incidentally, that's a woman in the pink working just as hard as the man. And it's interesting, this building, whatever it is being remodeled, and so they're literally destroying those panels. They're probably not, you know, historically significant. Some pretty cactus. They actually look like ocotillos, but they have these beautiful flowers. I think I've seen them before in Thailand. This one may be a little bit novel for me. It has the look maybe of a papaya, but I don't know if that's true. Now this tablet, mixed a forest of Chedai, is interesting because they have consciously and purposely removed this lower portion of text and scratched up the base for a new layer of plaster, if you will, and another inscription which they haven't put in. And this is interesting because it's a 5-headed cobra naga, and it's something is issuing from its mouth. Okay, they apparently buy the ice in these big chunks, and it comes in one solid piece, and then this lady here takes a saw and puts a groove partly in, enough so that it's got a groove, and then whacks it like you would linoleum to break a piece of linoleum, and then those two pieces will fit in there, keep things cool. I believe there's a purpose for that design. First of all, when it sits down in its groove, it's going to lose some of its height. Then when they put successive layers of asphalt on over time, it'll lose some of its height. But the kerf, not the kerf, but the bevel on the top is designed to allow these motorcycles and scooters to climb up over it and get onto that area for parking, whereas cars are not supposed to. Just to orientate us, south and to the right of the river is where the bamboo train was, and there you can see where I've circled the bridge. So I walked across that and then up to that little temple. It's up in the upper right hand corner now. Then it came back across the bridge and down and over here to this Wat right here, and back to this Wat right where my thumb is. Now I'm working my way north. I was kind of trying to orientate on this. Looks like Skye Proc restaurant, and then I'll work further north to get to that temple that's in the upper left-hand corner. And here's that restaurant, so I know I'm on the right route, and I think I'll go in and see if I can get some